to Freshly Forever, a podcast that gives you fascinating insights week after week. Here's your host, Vi Kumar.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode on podcast Freshly Forever. We have here with us Gigi Mortimer, who is the founder of EyeJust, and she is here to talk about the impact of blue light from our devices and how it matters in our day-to-day living. Gigi, first off, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
You founded EyeJust, and why don't we begin with your journey? I guess your tech introduction came about when you were in the accessories division at Ralph Lauren, Tory Burch earlier. Is that right?
Yes. So EyeJust is a blue light blocking screen protector. It actually is a device that can go on your laptop, your iPad, your phone, and it protects your screen, but it also protects your eyes, your sleep, and even your skin. And it all came about because about 5 years ago, I found out that my son wasn't sleeping. And he's like, Mom, I'm not sleeping. And I peeked in on him late one night, and I caught him one of those things that we all have on his iPad under the covers. And I took the iPad away and he started sleeping better. And my background in accessories, I designed glasses for over 20 years. And I thought, I think the light from this device is keeping him up. And I dove into the research and found out that the blue light coming off of our screens basically triggers the brain to thinking it's daytime. And so it happens, and it's something we can't really control. And so he wasn't sleeping. And I noticed like his schoolwork, his performance went down a little bit. He was crankier, all those things that happen when you don't sleep well. And I thought, I'm sure there must be other mothers out there who are concerned about their children's screen time and how it's affecting their schoolwork, their performance. And so that's how it all began, is really looking to my family and wanting to create a wellness solution, because they were all looking at their screens for so many hours a day.
Yeah, not just children, even us adults, we are now all like so glued to our screens all the time, right?
Exactly. And what is happening is every year, the screen time amongst adults is increasing, an hour every single year. Obviously, COVID brought us all onto the screens for work and for school and for shopping and for cocktails. But now we really are depending on our screens, and screens are not going away. And there are software solutions out there, but a lot of people aren't using them. They don't like the way it makes the screens turn yellow. Our solution is a absolutely clear screen protector that you can't even tell the difference. It's great transparency, but it filters out the harmful blue light that keeps you up at night.
Well, I should say I'm a personal user of EyeJust. My daughter uses it. My husband uses it, and we all love it. It's interesting you pointed out that there are other blue light blocking devices and the yellowing aspect that we encounter with them, say like the blue light glasses and so on that one may order online. This study from Harvard that you encountered, Gigi, made you delve deeper into this, and I believe it prompted you to say, I just have to do it. Is that right?
So having been in accessories all my life and designing for Ralph Lauren and Tory Burch, I designed all different types of accessories. When I saw the iPhone and I noticed on the streets, there was a big change because everybody was carrying a phone. They were walking down the street. They were holding their phone. It was never more than like a meter away from the hands of every single person I knew. And it was from the young children, boys, girls, older people, everybody. And I thought, this is really the ultimate accessory, but I want to make it healthier for my family. And I felt like I'd had a career in fashion, and I really felt like this was something that could be able to make people's lives so much better. And that's what really drove me. And I'd had a long career and I thought, I got to do this. I have to try because no one else is addressing what I saw as a big problem. And I really dove into the science. It was very, very, it was clear, but no one wanted to talk about it. So I told my husband, I said, I'm going to move into this type of business. And he's like, you're going to do what? And I said, I just have to do this. And that's how I got the name EyeJust. But I used obviously EyeJust instead of EyeJust. And it also things about, you say you're EyeJust, you adjust your phone to be healthier. And it's all about healthier screen time for us. And, we've continued with the science. We've done more and more studies from UC Irvine, Department of Ophthalmology at the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute. We actually are the only people who studied the light that is actually emitted from the screen. And we measured that so that we can pinpoint the exact blue light wavelengths that are the most important to be blocked. And that's at 460 for the iPhone. And this was using the most advanced iPhone 13, because every year a new phone comes out, that the screens get brighter and brighter. And so we really wanted to make sure that our research was as current as possible. And of course, one of the things that everybody can always do is to just dim your screen. That is helpful, but it's also great to have the EyeJust screen protector and then dim your screen. And that's what the ophthalmologists at the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute recommended, and how they use their screens is with this EyeJust screen protector, but then additional settings.
Yeah, it's so nice that you can bring this wonderful blend of what you did in the fashion accessories world to technology, rather with a purpose here, right? That's healthier use of technology.
And what is this HEV, high energy visible rays?
So that's kind of how you embedded that into the screen protector. Is that correct?
Right. So the HEVs are the high energy blue light waves, and that's the ones that we really focused on. And those are the ones that we block, because there is, you get blue light from the sun, you get blue light, and there is good blue light that we need first thing in the morning. One of the best things you can do is get up, get outside, have some sunshine on your face. It sets your metabolism, it sets your circadian rhythm, which really runs a lot of the functions in your body. And it's very important for that natural blue light. But you don't need the unnatural blue light, which is the blue light coming from your screens. And that's why, blue light glasses, a lot of people are very confused about wearing their blue light glasses, because the blue light glasses will actually shade the good blue light that you need to sort of keep your energy up in the mornings, and it'll take all of that away from you because you're blocking the blue light right from your eyes. If you're just blocking the screen, you're only blocking the bad blue light, which is from your screen. Does that make sense?
Not only that, it's also one other thing to have to remember to carry, right? When it comes to the blue light blocking glasses. Say, I may be in a hurry, I may be a very organized person, but still we all are human.
Oh, trust me, none of us tend to forget our phones, no matter how rushed we are. Like, we are so tied to it.
So I guess, if it's already embedded in the device, in lieu of your regular screen protector, I think it's just so much more helpful. So
yes, it's great. The other thing is having been a mom, I really multitasking all the time. I wanted to create a simple solution for mothers to protect their children's eyes initially. And then we looked at the screen protector market, and everybody out there was like, we're shatterproof and they have hammers on it. And we were like, you know what? We want to take a little bit more of a softer approach to screen time, because we want a healthier screen time. And we definitely protect your phone. We have the best glass. It's a high strength tempered glass screen protector. It'll protect your phone from drops and falls, but it'll also protect your eyes and your skin and your sleep as well. But it's simple. You put it on once and you're done.
Yes. And I'm just curious, Gigi, was your involvement as a member of Women in Science at Rockefeller University, was that in any way instrumental in you trying to bring something, that's more technology involved
and use research to kind of validate your findings and back up your offering to the market.
So I've been involved with the Rockefeller Women in Science, almost since it began, which was about 25 years ago. And I have a passion for science. I have a curiosity. And I think one of the things when you really want to have a great career is if you can figure out how you can combine the things that you love most. And then I also always wanted to help my children. I also have one son who has genetic issues and has epilepsy. And so protecting his sleep was so important to me. And that also factored into why I wanted to, help other people. Every day I thought about how could his brain perform on a higher level. And then also being the mom and wanting the best thing for your children, for your family. My husband's also on his screen all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's certainly an impactful product. When it comes to healthy approach to technology, though, how best can we make people realize the need to protect themselves? And based on research findings, what are some of the harmful effects that you can highlight here, Gigi? Whatever caused you to create this product?
Well, it goes back to sleep, which is the cornerstone to our health. And if you don't sleep right, you wake up the next day, you don't want to eat the healthy foods. You want to go get something like a hamburger or pizza or something. You also aren't at your peak performance. And so it can affect your weight. It can affect your cognitive function when you don't sleep well. Sleep is also when your body recovers. It's when your muscles recover. It's when your brain processes everything it learned during the day. So if we don't have sleep, we can get very sick, and it just depends on sort of how affected you are. There was an interesting study about a basketball player who tweeted at night. And then late at night, so he probably didn't get a good night's sleep, and he didn't do as well in the basketball game the next day. And so our sleep affects our performance. And I think our society is so performance driven. We all try and eat well, we exercise, we take vitamins, but we're spending 8 to 11 hours a day staring at screens. So what are we doing to be mindful about our screen time? And your circadian rhythm also affects your metabolism. And so I just think the sleep is really the most important part of it for our health. The eye strain, most people report like visual eye strain after long times on screens. We reduce 92% feel less eye strain after using EyeJust, which we did from another study with Sleep Score Labs. Those are two things that we don't need them in our lives.
I believe people tend to get headaches, and there's even impact to skin from blue light, just like sun rays can cause skin damage. I believe blue light from screens can do that too.
So it's hyperpigmentation of the skin. So dark spots and we have some dermatologists who are on our scientific advisory board, and they're starting to see these effects, especially in the areas where people are holding their phones and in that area. But it is like the sun.
Yeah, nearsightedness. These are all resultant effects of overexposure to screens and blue light, I believe.
The nearsightedness, the eye strain, the migraines. The Migraine Society is also a big supporter of EyeJust. Headaches, concussions are also, you aren't supposed to look at light after a concussion. So the light impacts our brain, and the blue light is more penetrating than other wavelengths of light, and it goes further back into the brain.
I guess that's where it's comforting to know there's support in the form of a product like EyeJust.
Back in a moment with our guest on Fresh Leaf Forever.
On to surviving and thriving in the digital world. Though it seems like we are somewhat of a stage where we are kind of coming out from the pandemic, we never know when. You mentioned the sleep score study results. How does your product EyeJust compare to anything else that's out there as far as competition, Gigi?
When we did the study, when we were really measuring the light coming off of our devices, we also measured the competition, or actually UC Irvine measured the competition, and we addressed the wavelength that is coming from our screens. And we found out that a lot of other brands, and there were brands from Amazon, and a lot of them, yes, they're blocking blue light, but they're not addressing the blue light that is coming from the screen. And I think this was actually a real eye-opener for us, because there are a lot of confusing claims out there about blue light and what you need to block. And so if you're blocking the wrong wavelength, it doesn't have any impact. And there was a quote from one of our doctors, I think it's on our website, and how he said, that how I just blocked more without changing the look or color of the screen, because a lot of people really care about. Nobody wants to watch their Netflix and have everybody looking like you're looking at a movie through a glass of beer or something, right? It's all yellow. You want to look at it in true color. And so I think with balancing blocking the blue light, but also having the true colors is what is sort of the best balance. Because you can block more blue light if you made it a lot yellower, but that experience for the consumer isn't the same. So we really block the maximum blue light without changing any color. And we're blocking about 40% of the harmful blue light, which is at 460 on the iPhone and 450 on the laptop.
When you mentioned iPhones and laptops, are your products tailored to just Apple, or is it universal and meant for other devices, Android and such?
So we have Chromebooks, universal computer screens. We have all sizes. We don't have the large monitors. We're about to come out with actually using glasses for monitors, because it's just a better solution. And I think if there's needs for blue light glasses, but some people are wearing them all day long, and that's maybe not the best use for them. You want to put them on when you're looking at a monitor late at night, when it's convenient.
Okay.
Or watching TV in bed. I've noticed the TV screens are getting bigger and bigger. They're getting in the bedrooms. They're closer to our eyes. And I know if I watch two shows like back to back, and I have a hard time unless I'm wearing blue light glasses.
Okay. And what other products have you been able to segue into? I think there's the Protect Pack and some other new offerings, correct?
Yes. So we also have an EMF pack, which is, if you go in, you are not really supposed to be holding your phone next to your body, because the electromagnetic frequencies can damage cells. And this is sort of very new in the research, but it's like, why would you risk it? And we have it's like a fanny pack, but it has a layer of a silver mesh fabric, which is super lightweight, but it protects your body from any radiation from your phone. And there's studies in mice where their cells they have cancer. And I think it's something that we don't want to risk. What I always I'm thinking about is more a child who at a young age starts using a phone and is using it all day, every day for the rest of their life. And that question for me was something like, well, why would you risk it? Let's try and find something. I know I would see my sons with their, laptops on their, laps, and that's really not a great place to put your laptop. They say it can cause infertility because of the warming of these laptops on our, on boys' laps.
Yeah, devices tend to get hot. There's brain health in question from, say, prolonged exposure to EMF. There's so much more to it than one can imagine. So many people are unaware of the ramifications of device exposure. And when people can use airplane mode on phones at night or put them away as far as they could, it doesn't seem like that's happening. It's an awareness issue, right? People think they need to respond to every single beep at night, and it's almost like people want to keep it underneath their pillows.
Yes. And 1/3 of teens will wake up in the middle of the night and look at their phone. We heard that from Common Sense Media, and it's kind of amazing because that will trigger their brain. So they are then not going to get the best night's sleep possible. I do think it's great to put your phone outside of your bedroom or put it on airplane mode if you're using the alarm clock. I highly recommend that. Technology is very, very fast, and science is much slower. iPhone has been around maybe 17 years now. So we're really, we're still learning a lot about the long-term effects, but we know they're here to stay.
Yeah, it's interesting you pointed out that technology is advancing way faster than what science can validate when it comes to healthier use. Like every year there's a newer model and you're having to adjust your product to cope up with the technological advancement and still stay in line with your goal, right? To provide safe use and healthier use of technology. It's hard to imagine impact if there weren't any solutions to block blue light from screen time use. I really don't know what I would do personally. What else you think we can do to protect ourselves, Gigi? Or how else can we all become healthier users of technology?
Well, we want everybody everywhere to be able to have their screens protected. I would love to put it in every school. We did an 850-night study on sleep. We tested people who were looking at their iPad before they went to bed, without EyeJust, and then with. 92% had less eye strain, 72% had better sleep. It improved all stages of sleep, including the REM sleep, which is that really crucial time when your brain is processing memories and learning.
Oh, that's very interesting. And phones have this night shift mode and all that.
So how different is it with regards to, say, the phones themselves having those technologies versus what else EyeJust is able to bring in and off?
We see it as being very complementary. I think we know that we're blocking the maximum amount of blue light that is possible at this stage. That's why we also like to have somebody be able to adjust their screen so they can maybe lower the settings a little bit, which would help increase that. And what we actually did is we tested what our screen protector did with night shift, without night shift, and also how it performed at different levels at 50% brightness, which is all very good. I mean, the maximum protection would be about 50% brightness and EyeJust without changing the look or color of your screen.
Okay. And is there something called Flux as well, other than this night shift?
So Flux is another is a software app, and it does go yellow.
Okay.
It does, and we have there's a sleep scientist named Roy Raymond who worked with Apple and developed Night Shift, and he has been helping us as a scientific advisor.
Would be your message to young entrepreneurs on taking the lead and being creative? And for someone that thinks, hey, what if I fail? What would be your message?
I think you always learn something. And I think if you have that entrepreneurial urge, I think being an entrepreneur in the corporate world is great, but it's also great to be an entrepreneur because you can control your own time. I found that really helpful when I was raising my children to have more flexibility, but I also loved working in corporate. But I think every single thing you look at it very creatively. You see inspiration everywhere you look. I think you also have to have a plan, but you have to be able to pivot quickly. If you're seeing that you're kind of going down the wrong route, but maybe it isn't turning out how you hoped it would, pivot quickly and know where you want to land. And
maybe seek mentors, right? Like I'm sure that always comes in handy when it comes to any journey, right? Any entrepreneurial journey, that way you also know when to pivot and what to do if it seems like you're running out of ideas.
Yeah. And I think for me, as everybody on our team has a real they bring something
Mhm.
different. Don't find people who are all the same, because then but to have somebody who will bring a different point of view. I love thinking out loud. I love having ideas challenged. I really encourage that, because I think when you're challenging ideas, the ideas only get better and better. And so I love hearing people's opinions on all of that stuff. And I think that's, brainstorming sessions are, you can almost never get enough of them. It refines it.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it definitely, yeah, every day is a learning journey. I always think for everybody. And so there's something new that we definitely can just, learn every day. And so I think with a team, it always is more productive and more when people challenge you with their ideas. I think definitely, as long as one is receptive to it,
Yes.
definitely there's room for improvement. What about we talked about the products being not just for Apple, but to a broad spectrum, right?
MacBook, I mean, we do universal size laptops and Chromebooks. We really sort of stop at about 15 inches. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any chance that whatever you are seeing as far as science and whatever you're seeing out there, could it lead to more percentage blocking, or do you think you have maxed out in terms of?
I always think, well, we're always going to be pushing the limit because we're going to be on the cutting edge of it. It was interesting because this technology was originally developed by NASA,
Mm-hmm.
and they needed it for the astronauts. They needed it for the welders building the light from the welding machines on the spaceships. And so it was developed. And so the technology has been out there, but we've really pinpointed it for screens. And then we really tested it and validated. Because the funny thing is, if you're selling something that's a clear screen, you have to know it works. So we had to lean into the science.
Okay, perfect. And thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I definitely enjoyed bringing this awareness to folks out there that as much as, blue lights and screens are with us every single day, we also need to stay protected, because we need to protect our eyes. We need to protect our overall health of our body, the skin, everything. And most importantly, sleep, which is tied to so many health conditions. So thank you so much for your time, Gigi, for being on the show. And I definitely can add to whatever you have said here, that as a personal user of EyeJust, it definitely has been a pleasant experience for me and my family looking at our devices.
Oh, thank you
once again. Thank you once again for being on the show. And if you would like to add the website or any other information here, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, no, I'd love anybody interested in learning more to check out EyeJust.com. We ship internationally, and we have amazing reviews from our customers, and 30% of our customers are coming back for more of their devices. And so we would love for you to visit EyeJust.com.
Okay, perfect. And listeners, as always, tune into the podcast, leave a review from your podcast app of choice, and follow me on Instagram at YPKumar for all things digital media and lifestyle. Until next time with another interesting guest, it's me, Vi, saying so long.